our thanks goes to those who have prepared the manual, although the manual is still not yet adapted, but it is great because we are going to use it in our daily training. The first acknowledgement and appreciation goes to the Minister of Interior. The second appreciation goes to the Inspector General of the Police. The third appreciation goes to Public Prosecutor Mulana Sabir. And then it follows by others, police dignitaries. That is Sarkozy, Dr. Sarkozy, and then you have Amo and the rest. I also want to recognize the high table, and this is great. And also we give thanks to those who have contributed in making this conversation successful. We also give our thanks to our donors and our stakeholders, and they're always with us. Those of GIZ, those of European Union, and others. Actually, the topic that has been covered, it has really touched what is supposed that we should know. It touched what they call trafficking in person, and it touched immigration. Then it gives out the element of what is immigration and what is traffic in person. We all learn about it. We had interaction for the last 5 days among ourselves, and we have role play, and we presented a small quorum among ourselves in regard to how we investigate the victim. And it has been very much centered on how do you treat the victim, because the victim of trafficker is not the actual victim, because he has been forced in that circumstances. So we go back tracing how he has been involved in that. And then we had a definition of all the elements that involving trafficking in person. And we had also had other international convention. We had our legal instrument, that is penal code, criminal code of procedure, evidence, law of labor law, and other laws. And then we also had international convention, UN convention, convention on right of the child, and other conventions. We had also one of our facilitators from AMPOL. He presented a very wonderful paper in regard to adult education teaching and how could we perform as instructors once we get out of here. And it has given us so much. Mulana Sabir has given us a tip of what we call extradition. Our country has no extradition law, and it has to be imported. Our country has no asylum law as well as VIP laws, and then also is part of partial of what we are recommended to be imported. He has told us that in trafficking is different from smuggling. Trafficking can be done in any corner, but smuggling actually it must have the state of the beginning and the end, and it is cross-border. And it has taught us that actually how we can detect. We are going to be vanguards. We are going to be the role model, and we are fortunate enough to be has been chosen. And my thanks goes to those who organize this. They have really chosen capable, effective, and efficient participants, being those of prosecution, the judges, the officers, and the social workers. They all are confident participants, and really they have shown their talent. And I'm pretty sure they are going to implement what they have learned and what is going to be taken away from this quorum. Our recommendation is that we need more empowerment training. The 5 days is not enough to cover all the elements of trafficking in persons as well as immigration. We need another package, if possible, from our donors. And we also want to transfer this model to our countryside. So please, fellow participants, let the model not go into the Odrop or to Dursh. You have to go over it, you revise it, and you see how you can disseminate it, how you can make advocacy with it. And thank you very much.
This training come as the recommendations of the Task Force for Combating Trafficking in Persons and Smuggling of Migrants, that after the government demonstrate the commitment and the willing to cooperate with the international community and to bring the legal framework in the country to be in line with the international standard set for combating trafficking in persons and smuggling of migrants, and signing the Palermo Convention for combating transnational organized crime, and even signing the 3 complementary protocols that combating trafficking in persons, especially women and children, and even the protocol for combating smuggling of migrants, and then drafting the comprehensive bill in trafficking in person to combat the trafficking in persons, taking into consideration the element of preventing trafficking in person not to occur, the element of protecting the victim of a trafficking in persons, the element of assisting the victim, the element of supporting the victim, the element of victim rehabilitation and victim referral mechanism, the element of victim repatriation in case if it is a victim of South Sudanese, a victim in abroad, and the role that to be played by the competent authority, such as the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in regard to victim in foreign countries, and the role that will be played by the Ministry of Labor in terms of the labor trafficking within the country and inspections of those who were involved in trafficking of people in labor trafficking, among other competent authorities that were given role to combat trafficking in persons. We recommended that there is a need for a manual that will be drafted and will be used by the relevant competent authority to be used for the investigation, to be used for the victim assistance and support and referral mechanism, to be used even for the prosecutions of the traffickers, and also to be used as for awareness of all the public about the trafficking in persons. The Minister of Interior formed a task force for drafting this bill and drafting of this manual, and also the UN ODC with the support also of the donors. They agreed to hire an international expert who is here. We also appreciate the role of Dr. Guta, the international expert who drafted the manual, and the manual was subjected for also review by the national expert from different government institutions, such as the Ministry of Interior and even Ministry of Justice and other relevant institutions, to the extent that it was aligned with also the legal framework, the constitutions, the relevant laws, and even the reports that are confirming prevalence of trafficking in person. So today, the participants gain most of the knowledge that are being embodied in the manual, in terms of they now will be able to demonstrate what is the standard definition of the trafficking in person. They will be able also to distinguish between the trafficking in person and the smuggling of migrants. They know what the some of the provision within the current legal system, whether in the Child Act or Penal Code or Labor Act or the SPLA Act or other laws that covering some of the trafficking in person offenses, and they knew the gaps that has been identified under the legal system. As mentioned before, for example, we don't have a law that tackle the issues of extradition and issues of mutual legal assistance and issues of asset recovery and issues of witness protection and victim protection and whistleblower protection. Those laws are very crucial and very important for the country so that victim will be protected, witness will be protected, and whistleblower will be encouraged to report the wrongdoings. Thereafter also, the competent authority will be mandated to carry out the required whether investigation or prosecution or education or even comply with the law. So we are very pleased to appreciate and to thank all the donors for the support that they give to the government of South Sudan, to the Ministry of Interior, Ministry of Justice, to the task force. In particular also, we support the enabled ministers of the Ministry of Interior, Ministry of Justice, and even the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, because of their effort now, we realize that there is a manual that being developed and now validated, and soon it will be disseminated to all the relevant stakeholders so that it can be used as a guide for any investigation and any prosecution. Our appeal in this training and in this validation, we required further technical assistance to be offered to the country, particularly to the investigators and prosecutors, judges, in regard capacity building in the area of trafficking in person and smuggling of migrants. And number two, also we appeal that technical assistance also to be offered so that the gaps identified in regard to mutual legal assistance laws and contradiction and extradition also be drafted, and issues of victim protection and victim and witness protection and whistleblower is very important to be protected, to be drafted. Why I'm saying so? For example, for extradition, one day we will be challenged. For example, if you extradite somebody, then the question will be whether this person have a right to be appeared before the court so that he can defend or counter the request to be extradited back to other country, under which law this will be governed. So we identify that there is a gap in this area, so that we will be moving from doing administratively into doing in accordance with the law. And this requires a lot of expertise, a lot of support from various. At the end also, I will say that the participants demonstrate a higher quality of willingness to learn and even to carry out the knowledge. So now I can say they gain a lot of knowledge. They gain a lot of different experience from different facilitators. They gain a lot of also, they can be able to change their attitude. Some of them give very good statement that they're now able to know what is the standard definition of the trafficking in person in terms of action, in terms of means, in terms of purpose. So they will not be confusing between the trafficking in persons and other crime. They will be able also to know what is the mean by victim assistance and victim support and victim referral and victim rehabilitation, and which institution supposed to carry out all these roles. And they also appreciate that the trafficking person will not be able to be combated without collaboration, without cooperation, without international cooperation.
On behalf of UNODC, I would like to share our sincere appreciation and thanks to the government of the South Sudan and all the officials who were engaged with this great initiative. And I would like to thank particularly some of the key personnel who supported the overall process. I would like to thank Mr. Sabri for leading the process from the National Task Force. Also, the great appreciation and thanks I would like to share for Dr. Geeta, who came from long distance from India to come here to facilitate this 5 days training. as a UNODC international consultant. Also, my all UNODC colleagues, particularly, I would like to share the appreciation and thanks to Moses Oliver, who is leading the overall process on behalf of UNODC in the country as a focal point for the trafficking in person. And particularly the participants from the very beginning in the morning, I was so amazed that everyone was so sincere to start the training on time and to end on time. So please uh, take our special appreciation and thanks from the UNODC for your sincere participation in last 5 days. Uh, Also, I would like to take the opportunity to share some of the perspective from my side that this is just a beginning. Now the officials are ready to implement. So this was the idea, that to create the trainers so that this training can be roll it out among the other investigating officers or the officers who are relevant for this process, because I'm sure there are so many relevant officers who need this training. So now South Sudan has these competent trainers, and from UNODC we'll always try to look the opportunity to continue our technical support to the authority so that you can continue this effort. Number two is, so the training is ongoing, but we know that the UNTOC is ratified, which has been a great milestone for the government of South Sudan. But this international instrument gives the opportunity to have the international cooperation smoothly with other countries. But I'm talking about the response at the national level, when the investigating officers, law enforcement will need to go for the investigation of a case, need to identify whether this is a trafficking case or not. The country needs the national laws, which is very key. So we are so happy that the government has now the bill, but we are very looking forward that the bill will be passed very soon as a national law, and then it will create the basis for starting the response and criminalize the traffickers and do the investigation, prosecution, adjudication. Once there will be the full-fledged national legislation to criminalize this crime, UNODC will also look into the opportunity to provide technical support to prepare. And this is also a proposal from our side, that maybe the country have a strategy and national plan of action, how the government will work in next 5 years to respond these crimes, who are the institutions who will be engaged with this overall process, and what will be the responsibility of each one, so that it can be responded as a collective effort. And then once we have the national plan of action, national strategy, there are some other preparedness we need to have. For example, particularly I would like to put the emphasis on the victim assistance and support. And to do so, we need to have the referral mechanism, proper referral mechanism, to identify the service providers from the government, non-government, from the all service providers agencies, so that the authority can coordinate the existing service and the protection among the vulnerable victims of trafficking. And then once it is done, also we need to have a standard operating procedures for the investigation of trafficking. So we are glad that today, we have the training manual, but training manual will give the knowledge and expertise, but there should have some proper guidance and policies and standard procedures how the trafficking in person crime will be investigated. This is a different and special crime, and it requires special techniques. Sometimes, based on the experience from other countries, we see the general investigation procedure sometimes doesn't cover all aspect of the response of the trafficking in person. So it requires the special attention to investigate this crime. At the same time, once we have the national legislation, we need to have the preparedness to strengthen our judiciary, the judges, prosecutors, so we improve and strengthen the process. So
I'm personally honored very deeply to be here amongst you the second time now, and I wish very soon that you please stop calling all of us, because that is when the partnership actually transforms into ownership. Please call us back as tourists. We want to come and explore the rest of the country, so that when this partnership of UNODC with the government of South Sudan transforms into ownership, that is the true journey. I take this opportunity to thank all the participants for their very, very eager and enthusiastic participation. I would be failing in my duty if I don't thank all my other facilitators who have brought their wealth of experience and have taught me many new things in these 5 days. Last but not the least, I place on record my deepest appreciation for the government of South Sudan in showing their dedication and commitment to combating this horrible crime. The presence of the Honorable Minister at the inaugural and today at the closing is a very good symbol of that. Thank you very much. Please call us back, but in a different capacity. Thank you.
I want a kilo. Let's give 2 big kilos, we go. And the last one. And now Mechanica.
Through my going through the manual, it contains 7 models. These 7 models, it talks about the concept of trafficking in persons. And I think you got it, that one. How we are going to combat, how we are going to deal with cases of human trafficking. The second one is international and national legal frameworks. We have our constitution called transnational or transition national constitutions of South Sudan. There is a chapter talk about the human rights 24, among them forcing labors and what, forced labor, trafficking in humans. It is there in our constitutions. In our laws, we have criminal procedure, or we have penal code that are dealing with trafficking in persons. We have Labor Act that combating trafficking in children and laborers. We have also Child Act. These are the framework legal that we have to accompany during our investigation, during our dealing with the human trafficking. So I think the manual talk about this. We talk about international, how the international can assist us, since we signed the United Nations Convention Against Trafficking of Transnational Organized Crime. We signed it, we deposit to the United Nations for acceptance, and then it will be returned back to us as a convention that we will benefit from the international, where they are going to give us assistance. The fifth is detection and investigations of trafficking in persons and the crimes. How we are going to investigate all these crimes. It is within the manual. In the past, we heard there are cases of trafficking and they are not shown and they are not seeing the light. But now they see the light. Investigating them, detain them, it is like 11 cases. So this one of the manual given to us how we are going to detect and how we are going to investigate it and how we are going to trial them. The sixth one in the manual is assistance and service to the victims of trafficking in persons. And I think most of those of the relevant officials who talked before me, they talk about this, how to protect witnesses, how to take the victims of the traffickings. Because in our concept before, we saw that who was transported to our country is a suspect. He is or she is a victim, not she or he have good idea that they are the victims, and we have to treat them in humanity, and we have to return back to their own origins. And this one will be the responsibilities of other institutions.
As government institutions, we should be working together to combat whatever issues, challenges we are facing as a country. So I appreciate the Ministry of Interior. They have not left us behind. Every time they do invite us to issues of concern to our different institutions. As we are concerned with the issues to do with all workers in the country, be they nationals or migrant workers. So we are there. During our labor inspections, we may come across some migrants who are trafficked to this country, who illegally engage here and not being recognized and not getting their rights as workers in this country. So it is of concern to the Ministry of Labor, and the insight that is given during this workshop will be of use, of benefit to the labor inspectors. They will be able to, during their regular labor inspection, they may be able to detect some of the cases of traffic labor migrants. And I would like to reiterate in this workshop here that it is not only the foreigners, it happens even for nationals. We can have trafficking from the boomers to the counties to the national capital. So our eyes must be open, that we are able to detect and give the necessary assistance that these victims, these troubled people may be able to access. So this is not an easy training. This is a very important training, and it is an eye-opener to those of you who are here. You are not going back the same. You have learned a lot of knowledge that you should be able to impart to others. In our ministry, I think we'll be able to share the knowledge with the rest of the labor inspectors or even other officials who may be able to, the information will open their eyes and they'll be able to assist the people who are in need or who are caught up in this trafficking. It is stated that human trafficking is one of the businesses that people are doing, and it is more profitable, more than even drug trade, drugs trafficking. So we must have our eyes open so that we are able to help people around us or people that we may meet and support them to come out of this very bad human act. So I would like to commend the Ministry of Interior, and I would request them and encourage them to continue with such trainings to empower the people who are working in the rule of law, whether the police, the judges, those who are working in this field. And for us who are lay people, they should be able to also educate us on how to link and collaborate with them to bring to the book all those who are practicing these evil deeds. I would like to commend the UNODC and ask them to continue with supporting the government of South Sudan to impart this very important knowledge to the officials who are dealing in this, to be able to do their work in the right manner. I thank also the facilitators who have come a long way to give us this knowledge.
Of attendance, please let's applaud them and let them receive a certificate with great. Carlo, please clap for him, clap for him, clap for him. Brigadier John Onak Yijok. As he comes.
Thank you. Welcome to the
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We have Lieutenant Colonel Philip Paul Opiu. Please clap, 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 clap.
Okay.
Major Mambo Elioda Alex, clap as he comes. And I have the certificate envelopes. Please, I will be giving them to you hereafter, where you will keep them. Major Rebecca Ekun Mading, clap please as she comes. She doesn't want to greet. Her eyes are on the certificate. Yes, we have Captain Akoth Aquila Apiu. You have to greet the facilitator. Greet the facilitator, please. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Thank you. Wonderful. We have Captain John Christopher. Captain John Christopher. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, we are now having a force, another force, a force to counter trafficking in persons. It's a wonderful force. We have Captain John Brown Lujan.
Thank you very much for coming.
The captain, as remember, the facilitator, the main facilitator. Yeah, let's have First Lieutenant Shaul Atem Biar. Yes. Okay. Yes, yes. And First Lieutenant Mamour, Majok Mamour. Mamour, Majok Mamour. And then we have First Lieutenant Alfred Rezik Justin.
Thank you for participating.
Wait.
That is wonderful. We have First Lieutenant Kur Nial Bol.
Thank you for participating. Thank you for participating.
Second Lieutenant Angelo Malual Akok. He's not around. As he comes, let's have Stephen Chol Malek. Yes, let's clap and make it wonderful and lively.
Thank you very much for coming, sir.
We have Warrant Officer Michael Severino Achaha.
Thank you very much.
Okay, wonderful. Let's have Miss Ida Manawa Baladi. Yes, yes, Minister of Gender. Minister of Gender.
Thank you very much for that.
Child and Social Welfare. Yes, we have Quran, Mr. Quran Clement Luis Anthony. This is a legal advisor, Ministry of Labor.
Thank you for participating.
Yes. We have Björn Philip Titt. Mr. Björn Philip Titt. This is from the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. Let's have Mr. Lakjo Kweth Jal. This is from the Directorate of Public Prosecution, Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. And let's have Miss Mary Alphonse Ladu. Also, she is the prosecutor in the Ministry of Justice. Yeah, let's have Mr. Majok Deng Alo Kwol. He is a public prosecutor as well. They will be the ones, when they are prepared, they will be the one, tussling it out in court. And, urging for the best penalty to be given to the... Let's have Mr. Flora Angelo Lado. Miss Flora. Yes. Yeah, Miss Flora. This is one of the legal advisors. She's a legal advisor, Ministry of, I think, Labor or Gender. Ministry of Gender. Yes. Let's have Mr. Mark Mayen Ater. Yes. This is from GIB. And last but not least, let's have Miss Selwa Jane Losuk. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Yes, Minister of Labor. Yeah, they will be the one, enforcing those labor-related issues.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We can clap for our high table for standing.
Southern Sudan is believed to be, in the case of sources on this tension, the country for the victims and trafficking in person with southern women and children are vulnerable to exploitation. The big number is affected before we analyze it as a new country. These things are being just moved, and I think when the illegal presented some 11 cases, I think there will be more than 11 because we didn't have the laws that time. Some passed, and I think the whole region identified that Southern Sudan is one of the areas that people pass through it. A trafficking network in the region took advantage of the lack of laws along a displacement, making the fight against the traffic challenges. Sometimes in the new country like South Sudan, we started to make laws And these laws, some are being implemented and some are also still until now. Therefore, it is just to be a cooperation with our lobbies of South Sudan and also to continue. UNODC in South Sudan making a notable progress, developing some laws, and UNODC support in drafting the anti-trafficking bill. And we in the ministries appreciate your support. Because it is a long now, this is where we come and start. This is a starting, and we appreciate you. And I think also you will recruit some also agencies in order to support Southern Sudan. We also appreciate the workshop of trainers. Today you are being graduated, and congratulations. As we are government or ministries, we will own the laws, and I think we will cooperate also to add other laws in order to achieve the interests of our people and people in the region and the world at large. The Minister of Interior is going to own this animal which we have been trained, and it is going to be implemented in police learning institutions. With this few remarks, I here announce the closing of this workshop, and thank you. God will South Sudan.